Ooga booga. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I completely blanked out the second I started. I pushed start streaming. My brain's like, wow, there it goes. There goes all of the energy. There goes the brain cell. It's gone forever. But anyways, how are y'all doing today? I'm here. I'm sleepy, but I have work to do. So I'm just gonna jump into it. Okay, let's grab my shake and let's get to business. So I've got like pretty much the top done. I'm waiting to do, I like waiting to do the hair and eyes last because those, I could take a really long time on those sometimes. Not only that, but I found a decent way of doing hair that I like, but like, I still have issues with the eyes. I still want to get better at that. Let's go ahead and grab those little edges. And let's do this portion. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I want to say that's probably pronounced nervous. Let me know if I'm saying that correct. But how are you doing today? I'm just chilling. I'm just vibing. Trying to get this done before the deadline of Valentine's. I'm an exceptionally slow artist and I really need to get my butt in gear. Honestly, doesn't matter how you say it. Doing good, that's good. Thank you for stopping by. I just started. I'm a little bit sleepy still. I'm still a little bit tired. We're waking up and we're getting in there. But for the most part, we're just vibing. I spent a good portion of my morning just relaxing and catching up on a couple of videos, as well as playing a little bit more of the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. I could play the game, just it takes a lot of my PC to do so. So now I've successfully hunted Raidou. I've hunted every monster up until Raidou with every one of my main weapons from previous games. So all I have left is Gypsyros and Arkveld. And I got to say, out of all the weapons I've tried, bow is probably looking like my favorite. I like them adding it like a homing attack. It's kind of wild. Sus, indeed. How are you doing today, RZX? Thank you for joining in. We're just hanging out, we're just chilling. That being said, I don't think I'm gonna have to do a see if I have any like upgrades lying around in the near future to see if I can't upgrade my PC. Why the purple skin? He's a vampire, that's why. Oh, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you, RZX. He's a vampire. I'm actually gonna do a little bit of editing to make it look more like grayish, to really get the undead vibe going on. But for now, we're just gonna keep it like that. It also it's also kind of similar to how it is actually in the game, because the character I'm drawing is from the Elder Scrolls Online, and a lot of the vampires in those games tend to look like grayish purple. That's too big. But yeah, it's not the best MMO in the world, but I enjoy playing the Elder Scrolls Online. It's nice to just relax and chill after a long day of, like, working. You've only played Oblivion and Skyrim? You know, that's fair enough. I don't really have anything to do for Valentine's Day. I wish I could do something other than just get candy and eat those. Not sure if I want to do art for it. Yeah, I have really nothing else better to do, and I just want to, like, practice drawing within like deadlines, and I mean Valentine's Day is a pretty good deadline. Not only that, but I've always just wanted to draw fan art of this character for a while, so I thought it was a perfect opportunity. But that's completely understandable. Work within your own means. I tend to get burnt out really quickly, but like, I was discussing this with a friend, where I'm a lot more productive whenever I'm streaming, because I'm not allowed to just start getting sidetracked on doing something else like doom scrolling, because I'm streaming. You know, it does help. That being said, though, I kind of wish I could focus off stream too. It's like, I'll be honest, I'm not the most entertaining person to watch. I also tend to more like live in my own brain, so I don't like talk my thoughts out as much as I should. Gotta find a healthy balance somewhere. Exactly, yeah. But streaming is helping me be more productive, so it's something that I'm trying to get back into. I used to stream a lot more, but life happened. And it happens. So I've been happy with streaming since I got back. I just started streaming, or getting back into streaming, this week, actually. So, you know, anytime's a good time to start. So not only do I have this particular project that I'm working on that I need to get done before Valentine's Day, but I also have like a multitude of other whips too. Like, I want to make another VTuber model, because I did draw and rig this particular model that I'm using right now. So I want to work on that. And then I have a couple of, I have a Dungeons & Dragons AU that I'm working on the concepts for Honkai Star Rail. So I have a couple of whips for that I also have on the back burner. And I still need to actually design some of the characters that I have chosen still. Why you women really care about Valentine's Day? You know, I really don't care about Valentine's Day. I don't really care. It's not my particular cup of tea. It just so happens that this particular NPC that I'm drawing is finally becoming a house guest in the Elder Scrolls Online, and I thought, you know what a good way to celebrate my favorite character becoming a house guest than to just draw him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, use the publicity of Valentine's Day to do so. I'm not gonna lie. there is a slight motivation other than he's my favorite little guy. And it's not like it's a popular game anyway. It is very niche, but I know a lot of lovely people from this community. This is your favorite character in the entire series? Elder Scrolls Online. I guess kinda, yeah. Now that I think about it, I mean, I like Lucy and LeChance as well. Honestly, for me, it's just a normal day, but sometimes I want to do other stuff, even if it's not related to that day. You know, exactly, that's completely fair. But my pool of, like, characters that I like from the Elder Scrolls series is very limited to the fact that I've only ever played Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls Online. But I guess if besides Fenorian, I like Lucy and LeChance. I like Sothasil as well. He's like the only one of the Tribunal that I actually enjoy. Ulfric Stormcloak got so much more drip. I mean, true. Especially like if you use mods. Like that modded Stormcloak armor looks really good on him. So I will say I am a mod user. I do use mods. No, I don't use the haha funny sexy mods. That being said, though, better question for you guys. Stormcloak or Imperials? I think I already know the answer for RZX, though. For me personally, it depends on the character that I'm playing. Is there anything else I want to do? I can add a little bit of shinies. Bethesda mods, but no haha funny sus mods. I don't like the haha sus mods. Like, the closest I'll get to using like the haha sus mods is like 3BA and Himbo, so that way I could just make more custom like body shapes. But it doesn't go any farther than that. And I mean haha jiggle physics, so that just comes with the territory of like using those mods. I just want to make my characters look pretty. But that doesn't mean I don't have it modded quite well. I think at one point I had it modded almost to be just Dark Souls. but that became way too much to like have to deal with whenever I had to like transfer a lot of my files over and had to do I had to roll back my PC once and it was just like bleh. I have no opinion since I don't play either. Wanted to chill out here. You know what? That's fair, Nervous. I appreciate you hanging out here. I'm just rambling about whatever is in my brain. I just happen... I'm an Elder Scrolls fan. I really... One of these days I want to go back and play Oblivion and Morrowind. Especially Morrowind. Morrowind... There's something about Morrowind that just interests me. And I guess a little bit of that does have to come from the Elder Scrolls, because, or ESO, because ESO recently had a really cool Dark Elf update. What was the opinion question? I was gonna ask, Stormcloak or Imperial? I think I already know your answer. For me, it depends on the character I'm playing. Do I want to add any more shinies? No, I think that's fine. Let's do this belt. Imperials are losers, damn. That's crazy. I think one of my next playthroughs of Skyrim, because I have a playthrough right now where I'm actually trying to like what, not necessarily 100%, but just like chill and just do as much as possible. And it's a Khajiit that I'm playing as, but I think my next character is going to be a Nord. And I think I'm going to play through the Stormcloaks, because it's been a while since I've done that. I usually choose Imperial for the sake of convenience. But you know. A nerd makes sense, yeah. Fair enough. I'm playing as a nerd. The Nords are nerds. Normally Twitch gives me a hard time to catch streams, not just because I don't have notifications on. It loves to delay me in the past by 30 minutes and sometimes stream becomes unwatchable. This year feels a bit better. Now that's good. I need to get my button gear into multi-streaming. I have it set up on OBS, but I'm currently, all of my settings and stuff that I have currently going on, and all of my setup is on Streamlabs, which is a little bit of a butthole about multi-streaming. They like paywall it. But Streamlabs is a lot easier for me to comprehend, as I may be slightly special in the brain capacity side of things, you know. But that being said, I absolutely I love all the customization and like chat features of Twitch, but I prefer the convenience of YouTube. Not only that, but ad blocker. You know what I mean? I don't have to deal with ads on Twitch or on YouTube. Ads are cringe. I use an ad blocker, and if people use an ad blocker on me, I ain't gonna get offended. I understand. If you're not using an ad blocker on the internet, you might as well just be like, might as well just have all your personal information out there, you know what I mean? Because it's more than just blocking ads, it's blocking a lot of things. Surprisingly, even though Google is really trying hard to get rid of uBlock Origin, I still have it installed and it's still working. Twitch with 5 ads midstream and mutes the important things you want to hear. Yeah, so I understand why to an extent. So this is actually something that I've done a little bit of research on, and I've actually listened to other Twitch streamers explain it, and it makes sense. And I've even found myself subconsciously doing it too sometimes. It's just like, people are more likely to click off of your stream if they click onto your stream and ads start playing, like pre-rolls. So that's why you'll see a lot of streamers have like a timer for when they're about to like just do mid-rolls in the middle of the stream. It's like, I will take mid-rolls over pre-rolls, but that being said, it is super frustrating whenever like the streamer, like something big happens and you are in the middle of an ad. It fucking sucks. But I'll still take the mid-rolls over the pre-rolls any day. Also, you get more ad revenue off of mid-rolls than pre-rolls. Like, I'm not partnered, I'm not even an affiliate, but if I ever do get there, I will be doing mid-rolls. But that being said, I prefer YouTube. Would have taken a muted ad while seeing it and being able to hear the actual person, right? Just like a little ad in the corner. That would be nice. Ads are super invasive. I hate how invasive and... God, I hate ads. I need to get off my butt and figure out how to import all of my settings from Streamlabs to just regular OBS. That way I can multi-stream for all of y'all. I think I have it mostly set up. It's just life keeps throwing things at me and I keep getting busy. That looks nice. That being said, if you ever see an ad on my stream, it is not because I put it there. Not yet, anyway. That would be Twitch being a giant cunt. YouTube is tame with ads, at least for streams, kind of non-existent other than clicking immediately. True. Like sometimes I've seen it happen to some people while they're watching YouTube streams where they'll get like an unskippable 1 hour long ad. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But yeah, so I don't have a problem with ads on YouTube, but that's because I have an ad blocker that seemingly still works. So I take watching people streaming on YouTube more than Twitch. And there's it's like it's nothing but pros too. Like multi-streaming, it's nothing but pros. The Lego Movie ad being a whole hour long and just goes through the entire movie or something. I've seen those. I've sometimes seen in the past people just like re-uploading people's videos as YouTube ads. Like I remember at one point somebody just had like a bunch of Markiplier videos. Or like they paid YouTube to have like a bunch of Markiplier videos just play as ads. I miss those kind of days though. That was a while ago. I was like maybe what, 2019? I'll take music videos. Those are probably more worth it. True, it depends on the music. Like, I like most forms of music, but sometimes the music that certain ads play is just god-awful. Then again, it's like... I both don't mind a lot of music, but I'm also, like, mildly picky at the same time. It's a very weird in-between. I don't listen to a lot of mainstream music. It just generally doesn't tickle my fancy. But I mean, if somebody starts playing it, I think, for the most part, I don't mind, depending on what it is. Like, if it's annoying, I'll tell them it sounds annoying. But otherwise, I will not. I will tolerate it. It's kind of how I learned about VTubers. The first one was an original song and 3D model. You know what? That's fair. That's actually a really good one. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember who the first VTuber I ever saw was. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna blanket guess and say it was Ironmouse. Was the first VTuber I really ever saw anything about. I'm just gonna use Ironmouse as the safe pick on that one. I think probably Mori Calliope as well. And then it just like, and then, you know, it's just now there's just VTubers galore, which is great. I love VTubing. I love looking at VTubers a lot. For me, it was Himahina was probably the first exposure. Shit, fair enough. Fair enough. That being said, like, I don't necessarily... I'm more of a VOD watcher than anything else. I definitely like VODs because of just the ability to pause, take my time, rewind, replay. That being said, if I do watch somebody stream, I'm more than likely a lurker. So shoutouts to all of the lurkers out there. You are loved and you are appreciated. VODs, less ads for me, true. I'm uploading all of my VODs to my YouTube channel too, but sometimes OBS likes to be a bitch and not separate the audio tracks from my music and the rest of the VOD. So like the last stream I did, I couldn't upload on my channel because of all the copyrighted music. So, thanks OBS. So I'm trying, so now just in case, I'll just go the safe route and use the music that I know won't get me in trouble. Nah. Hello, doggo. Hi. What you doing? What you doing, boy? What you doing? Give me just a second and I'll let you outside, okay? Give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna let the dog outside. Okay. Let's actually not. I said this last time, but I need to adjust my watercolor to a little bit so that way it blends the way I want it to. As much as I like interacting in real time, chats might be too crowded and stuff. Depends on who you watch. I don't enjoy lurking in real time during streams. You know what? That's fair. I generally speaking don't have an issue with like talking during like largely crowded streams, or like, you know, you see chat just like moving really fast. It just depends on the context of what's going on, because generally speaking, I don't have a lot to say, but if I could put make input when opportune, I will. Or like if I see a really good time for like a joke or something, then I'll probably do that. But that also goes back to circling back with that though to YouTube, multi-streaming with YouTube and Twitch. I do kind of enjoy when a lot of the larger streamers I watch do multi-stream, because YouTube chat is usually a lot slower. Like it feels a lot more personal without going into the territory of parasocial. Because there is that very, very fine line between parasociality. I do want to make this look shinier. How do? You know, that works. Good enough. I am also the type of artist who's like, I can spend forever trying to make this thing look good, or I can go good enough and move on, and then learn from it, and then move on to the next piece, and use thing I have learned. YouTube is really chill as well with slow mode. I think Twitch also has slow mode too, but something about YouTube is that you can actually read everything. Also, sometimes when you refish Twitch, part of the previous chat is gone. True. On Twitch, either the streamer or the moderators have to activate slow mode. It is not something that you can do on the viewer side, I don't think, anyway. I don't really mess with Twitch chat a lot, other than to like redeem points and occasionally try to make a joke. That's good enough. From a distance, that looks fine, so who cares? My art is very high res, or a lot of it is high resolution. You can zoom in really far into it if you wanted to and see all of the mistakes. But from a distance, if it looks fine, it's good enough. That is something I'm also trying to teach a lot of the newer artists that artists that I'm also like mutuals and friends with as well. It's just like, if it looks good enough, it's good enough. It's like, I'm not the best artist in the universe, but I have been drawing for 15 years. And I am completely self-taught. Yes, I could probably learn and be a lot farther in my journey if I decided to actually go and look at tutorials and go back and do the fundamentals. Oh, Faye! Thank you so much for the raid! Oh my gosh, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. Hello, hello! My name is Annabelle SV. I'm your local T-Blog VTuber and artist and live 2D rigger as well. And today I'm doing Valentine's Day art for The Elder Scrolls Online, and we're just here to hang out and chill. Thank you so much for the raid, guys! Hello, Golan, Mythic! How are y'all doing? Thank you so much, Faye, for the raid. We're just here having a good old chill time. I'm also blanking out. Wonderful. It's something I struggle with. But yeah. No problem, hi! Yay! Thank you so much again. But yep. I'm almost done with this. I only have like the lower half of the body to do, and the hair and eyes, and then the basic render will be done. And then all I have to do is all of the background stuff and like text. Text is going to be the harder part for me, because I'm not the best with like general composition. I'm a very I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a very lazy artist. I strive for the bare minimum. Let's go. I'm also still getting over... I got the flu not too long ago, and I have a cough that just refuses to go. Anytime I get sick with anything like influenza related, if there's a shortcut, I will learn to take it. You know, fair enough. Give me just 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. But yeah, anytime I get the, like, any type of, like, flu or anything sinus related, I always end up with a cough that just refuses to go away for months. You may think it's dormant, but the minute you tell a funny joke, it returns. With a vengeance. Yes, hi. But yeah, what was I talking about before? Redeem points are for redeem points are for funny. Reminder to care for yourself in perfect timing. Trying to jump scare with a gunshot sound. Redeem as my entrance when somebody plays horror. It depends on the streamer, because I know a couple of streamers that I watch that have really nice redeems. Faye raid, yay! Hello, Shock and Awe. How are you doing? But yeah, it really depends on the streamer I'm watching. But I do try to occasionally, if I have enough points, I do try to do perfectly timed things. Or sometimes I also like it when certain certain streamers also have like redeem points for backseating, because there's a lot of people who like backseat and like get in trouble for it, but like making it a redeemable is something that I think is nice for only certain instances. Like, it depends on the game. Like, if it's for like story stuff, I'd prefer not to get backseated, but if it's for like a puzzle game or something, and like they need a little bit of help, I think being able to redeem points for backseating is... Backseating, I think the way one of the streamers I watch does it is like, you're allowed to redeem points for backseating, but you have to make it a hint and not just tell me the answer. And I think that's how it should be done. Yeah, I need all the help I can get with some puzzles, like, especially whenever it comes, like, I watch a lot of people play Zelda games. Specifically Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Those are my two favorite Zelda games. Yeah. Oh, Shock and Awe, thank you so much for the follow as well. Thank you. You are also plagued by sinus issues. You know what? Fair. I'm so sorry. It is going around. But like, it hit everybody in my house, in my house pretty much. Except for like one person. And I don't know how, I don't get sick often, but when I do, it hits me like a truck. But without the fun part of getting isekai'd. Yeah. I'm all good though. I only have 2 lingering issues from getting the flu, is this cough. And anytime I do get sick, besides the cough, I get really bad ear infection, so I currently can't hear out of one of my ears. So if my audio sounds weird, it's because it's adjusted for the fact that I can't hear. That's what I'm dealing with. But, you know, I'm kind of used to it. Kind of. Makes it slightly easier to sleep, though, because I'm a very light sleeper, because I hear every sound in the universe. But otherwise, I'm doing completely fine. But yeah. I think after I get done with this art, I will go ahead and go back to doing the model that I was working on earlier this week. But I just really, really want to make sure I get this done in time for Valentine's Day. I struggle a lot with the fact that I take too long on art sometimes. I want to get, not necessarily faster. I don't think getting faster is the correct word, but just making sure I don't get distracted, because I get distracted very easily whenever I draw. Because it doesn't take me long to finish something. Like, if you like were to separate everything, separate all of the blank instances of me just getting distracted, and then just like combining all of the art together, it only takes me like 5 to 6 hours to finish something. But I just like drag it out so much longer than it needs to be, because like I get like stuck in the loops of like playing different games or doom scrolling or something like that, or watching videos. So I will admit, I struggle with that. Because I look at some artists out there and just like, my god, how are you like throwing out banger after banger almost every day or every other day? That's insane. I feel that pretty hard, yeah. And like, for some artists, I do understand how they do it. It's because they have an entire backlog that they have ready and scheduled to post. But it's just like, anytime I try to do that, I just end up not posting for a really, really long time. You know? And this is something I've struggled with, like, my entire art career as well. Like, somewhere out there in the universe, I've shown it to some people, to certain people, but like somewhere out there is my old DeviantArt full of all of my shitty old art. And if you go through and look at all the date and times, you can see that I just go like really, really long gaps with like nothing. And then I'll post like a bunch of art in like a week, and then it's just like nothing again. Which is really, really, really bad for like algorithm stuff. I'm so dead on social media. I'm trying. I am trying. But it's just like, you know, I don't have a lot to talk about, or you know what I mean? That being said though, I do get a lot more engagement when I do post my whips, even if I never finish those whips. Posting those whips still helps a lot. Like, especially on Blue Sky. Like, I have more... I have more real followers on Blue Sky than I do Twitter. Twitter is, I'm pretty sure, is mostly bots or mutual, or just like mutuals, you know what I mean? I get a lot more engagement on, well, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, I get a lot more interaction on Blue Sky in general versus on Twitter, where I will occasionally get a banger tweet or just get a bunch of likes on something, and that's about it. And a lot for me is like maybe 100. Maybe 100 likes. It's not a lot. But I'm trying. But I'm also trying not to make it like my whole deal, you know what I mean? Because otherwise getting too caught up on numbers is cringe, and it's a bad feeling. You fully deactivated from X, that's fair. I only post art or whips on X if the art and stuff I post on X is poisoned art, or like heavily watermarked art to try to protect from AI. But that being said, I have a much better relationship with people on Blue Sky. I understand why people have deactivated their Twitter accounts. I get it. But having multiple platforms of being able to post on absolutely helps. For me, anyway. It's not for everybody. And I completely understand from a moral and ethical standpoint. Stop posting R4X, just posting food or game stuff. That's completely fair. I only post poisoned my art if it's poisoned in some form or capacity. That being said, it is very much a hassle to... It's a very big hassle to poison my art. It's, generally speaking, not worth it a lot of the time, in my opinion. Or just, it's an annoying process. It's a necessary but annoying process, but... I cannot deny the fact that it has helped me a lot. Oh, definitely, I need to find a secondary one, for sure. I don't... Hear me out. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's just like, damn, do I start using Tumblr again? Or not again. I've never used Tumblr, but it's like, damn, do I start using Tumblr? Because I don't like Instagram. I think Instagram is cringe, I'm gonna be honest. Dude, I was thinking about it, hesitant. I'm like, I'm hesitant. I'm just like, do I start posting on fucking Tumblr? Because I have a Tumblr. I've had a Tumblr since like 2009. I've just never used it because I've always thought Tumblr was cringe. Even back then. Or not 2009. But like, around the same time I was using DeviantArt, which was like 2012 through like 2016. You were on there for a decade? Dang. The Tumblr resurgence, dude. I'm just like, fuck, do I start using Tumblr again? But I can't post all my spicy stuff on Tumblr. Not that I have a lot of spicy stuff to begin with, but you know. They got rid of all the fun stuff on Tumblr. It's more that they're aggressive and wild as shit. Yeah. And it's just like, I could... It's like absolutely feral, yeah. It's just like, there's not a lot of better alternatives out there that aren't just equally AI bullshit. You know? I'm just like, I have a Pixiv. I just can't understand Japanese. You know? It hurts, like, I don't know. I think I just need to, like, get over it and just do it, you know? A lot of my issues are easily fixed by just do the thing. I got distracted. What now? I was talking about, like, different alternatives for, like, posting art, and I was talking about Pixiv. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. But it's very daunting and overwhelming to look at a website that's in a completely different language. And I'm only monolingual. I only know English, so I've tried learning other languages, but it's very hard for me to do so. Oops. But I think I just need to get over it and just start using Tumblr. I'm just very upsetty. Because every time I go to show all of, like, my mutuals or friends, all of my old art, I get sad every time because I have to, like, go to DeviantArt to do so. And just seeing the AI hellscape it's become makes me extraordinarily sad. Because that was, like, my bread and butter as a kid. I'm still mulling over it. I'm just not into the culture and discoverability on there. I still don't post much art for Blue Sky, but still better interactions than X. Oh, absolutely. I love the fact that on Blue Sky, hashtags actually mean something. I'm tempted to just make a blog at this point. Fair enough. I have the account. It's there. I've had it for forever. I just need to do it. Just need to do it. Yeah. I wish there was a better alternative for artists. I really do. It fucking the current state of everything fucking sucks. I think I might just have to bite the bullet and do Instagram as well. I'm absolutely not touching TikTok with a 10-foot pole. You cannot make me. I would rather die. And I stand by my morally questionable beliefs. The problem with everything for artists is that it's only for artists. Yeah. And statistically speaking, TikTok isn't worth it, honestly. No, it's not. Statistically speaking, 1% of the entire population are artists, which is a lot of people in the grand scheme of things, but still, it's just... You know? I don't think they do a good job pulling non-artists in. True. Like, the sheer amount of interaction that you can get on places like Twitter is such a huge boost. It's such a volatile environment. But I'm just gonna continue doing what I continue doing, which is just... I don't get a lot of engagement. I don't really care. I just post my art, and if people like it, they like it. But I will admit that it would be nice if I could get those bigger views and potentially turn it into a way of making money. Not gonna lie, that would be nice, but I don't expect it at the end of the day. And that's just kind of always been my mindset of just, you know, I draw for myself. But it would be nice. Oh, this is the song that I need to take out of this playlist. Right. This one is heavily copyrighted. YouTube does not like this one. It's like I have a playlist of Blue Sky I stuck with following or mutual pages so it doesn't go off topic or my interest after the first few days on Discovery. I need to curate my Blue Sky more so that way I see a lot more of what I want, which it's starting to get a little bit curated, but I will be honest whenever I say, because of how heavily curated my Twitter is, I use Twitter a lot more. That being said, I think I just need to like go get down to brass tacks on Blue Sky so that way I don't see like all of the fucking political doom posting that I see on Twitter. I try to be way more picky with who I follow. Also, lists are super helpful. Yes, they are. I only have 2 lists so far, but it's still better than what's going on Twitter. Like, I have lists of posts from followers. I have a list of posts or things that my followers or people that I'm following like as well. And I just need to get down and like look for like more categories as well to curate like the art and the things that I need to see. I need to get down to it. I'm just extremely slow and admittedly lazy. But I do appreciate how open the developers of Blue Sky are and how much they are attempting to improve the experience, especially now with the whole like mass exodus that happened recently. I say recently, but it was like a few months ago at this point. It is very nice to be able to post on Blue Sky, and then like I always either get likes from people I've never interacted with or like are mutuals with, or I'll just start getting followers as well. It's like it's so nice to actually just post, use hashtags. People actually see those hashtags and they like the things, and then they actually follow you. That is nice. I will say there is one thing that I prefer that Twitter has that Blue Sky doesn't have right now, and that is going to a person's profile, going to the media tab, and just seeing all of the images. I'd rather just see all of the images than all of the posts that have media in them. Because I do that with artists. It's like I'll go to an artist's page and I will look at their media tab. So I will say, if they do implement something like that, that would be nice. That being said, same, yeah. That being said, I've noticed that I've started, like, now that I'm using social media a lot more often, that I am starting to notice that I am starting to have this problem. But if they follow, I always peek. Yeah. Is it also kind of just like makes me a little bit like overwhelmed whenever I see like somebody's media tab and it's just like full of GIFs or like unrelated images whenever I'm trying to like just look specifically for their art. The thing I have with Blue Sky is the blocking feature, but it doesn't make you auto unfollow after the block. So the block feature should do exactly what it says it does. That being said, like, it depends. It depends on the person I block, because it's just like, I want to block somebody, but sometimes depending on the person or the circumstance, I still want to see what they're doing just to make sure they're, you know, I'm in this weird perspective. It's just like I want to block them, but I also want to make sure, like, if they do something stupid, that I can capture it and like archive that. You know what I mean? I wish they'd let us remove followers. That would be nice. I need to go on my Twitter and get rid of all the bots. I don't like mass following accounts. For me, I just don't want bots following. Yeah. That's the issue with my Twitter, is I'm pretty sure a lot of my followers are just bots. And I'm not saying Blue Sky doesn't have bots, because It does. It definitely do. I'm actually struggling with this part right here. I'll just take the easy way out. And do this. Thank you, Paint Tool Side. Very cool. Thank you, FromSoft. So yeah, there are pros and cons to using using both websites. But I think like in the future, if Blue Sky keeps going on the trajectory that it's going, that it'll become the better of the two. So while I'm not putting all of my eggs in a basket, I'm really, really hopeful for Blue Sky. Super, super hopeful. Right, I'm stupid. I think on Twitter at some point they got rid of the bots following my account. I can't bother blocking all of them at once because they keep piling up, so they're doing their job right. The bot situation is still just as rampant as it was before. Because they did do, at one point, a mass exodus of bots. But they're still there. They're still there. They're still just as rampant. Okay, so I kind of don't want to do the shiny on the belt yet, even though I should. So let's do the pants. So let's go ahead and get those these tiny little blips. As an artist, I'm going to be honest with you. I try to get all the dead pixels that I can see off the top of my head whenever I like zoom in or try to adjust, but like actively going for every dead pixel is going to waste so much of your time. There are going to be dead pixels. Or at least in the way that I draw anyway. Dead pixels are like inevitable. And 90% of people do not care. And like, if anybody does zoom in on your image to find all the dead pixels, it's in bad faith. More than likely, it's in bad faith. And they're not actually trying to help you. From my experience. So try to find all the ones you can. If not, move on. That is very true, yes. Like, a lot of my practicing and a lot of what I'm doing currently this year is just learning to move on. Like, not, like, in general as well, just learning to move on. But especially for art. Because it's like, if something takes too much time, do what you got right now, move on. Learn from it, fix it in your next art, move on. You fix it in the next piece. Or go into your off time and look at how other people do it. Because as a younger artist, whenever I was a younger artist, that is something that I desperately needed to do, was just move on. I'm always curious, like, this thought always comes to my mind, but I'm always curious what, like younger me would think of my art right now. If they think it'd be cool, or if they think it'd be whack. I don't know. It's a random thought that comes to my brain every now and again. Like, if younger me were to, like, look at my art and not know that it was my art, like, my art, you know what I mean? That being said, I really need to, I need to look at all of the artists that I like to follow and like and see what they use and see how like how their process is. I know one of the artists that I follow on Twitter that I love their art from uses the exact same program I do, and I'm just sitting there trying to like looking at all their sketches and whips that they like to throw out there, and I'm just like, what brushes are they using? What settings do they have? Are those custom brushes? Is that just the default pencil tool? I don't know. So I found out through trial and error that the tool that they use to sketch with is just the default pencil brush, but with the minimum size not set to 0. And I'm just like, how do you sketch with the default pencil tool? It's awful. Like I know what brush they use to block out their shading on the sketches, which is just the default marker tool. But I used to use the default pencil tool to sketch, and my sketches looked terrible. And whenever I would try to line, like I would have such a hard time doing line art because of like how ridiculously hard the pencil tool is. Like I don't know, I do not remember when I started doing it or who I learned this tip from, but I found like a tip or like a video online of somebody sketching with the airbrush tool, and they were like, stop using this, start using the airbrush tool, and you'll have an easier time doing line art and blocking out things. And it was like such a game changer for me in terms of like my sketches look nicer now, and it's so much easier to get the brush strokes that I want for my art. I don't know what weird like psychological bullshittery was at play, but it just helps so much. That being said, I do use Paint Tool Sai, so results will vary depending on what program you use. I know a lot of people who use Clip Studio Paint. I know a couple people who use Fire Alpaca. I know a poor unfortunate soul that uses Medibang. But yeah, I've learned that sketching with a lighter tool, or like a more softer tool, has been of such help to me. No, I just really love how my sketches come out. I think I need to take time to sit down and like refine the way I do sketches, so that way I could just like post banger sketches. Because the way I sketch is also intriguing, from like looking at a lot of people's like speed painting and such. Because of the like how weird my brain is, I have to like separate a lot of my sketches into like pieces of my sketches into different layers and have them color coded, so that way my brain understands what I'm looking at better whenever I do go back to like line or to refine the sketch. But I think if I could figure out a way to where I still do that, but if I can go back and refine the sketch and then just like turn it grayscale and refine it from there, I think I could post some really, really cool looking sketches. So that is something on my mind. So let's go ahead and select this. I know there's going to be a couple of dead pixels. Like, also just as a matter of just knowing your program's program well enough to like understand immediately where dead pixels are more common, which is always going to be at like intersections of angles. It's something I've just gotten used to over the entire time of like the 15 years or so that I've used Paint Tool SAI. So shoutouts to Paint Tool SAI. For as old of a program as it is, I love how lightweight and compatible it is with a lot of PCs. Are there things that I wish could be updated? Absolutely. I am aware of how much the author of Paint Tool SAI they adamantly refuse to put a dark mode in, and it upsets me greatly because they also get really bad when people mod Paint Tool SAI to have a dark mode. I'm just like, please, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I don't like getting flashbanged by the program, please. It's an accessibility feature, please. I'm photosensitive. I'm also partially colorblind, please. Man, I have a lot of ideas, and I'm like, man, I should do XYZ. But I know as soon as I start doing it, I will never finish it. Like, listening to the music that I have going on right now, I'm like, man, I should really draw some Fire Emblem fan art. It's not gonna happen. It's like, I'll get motivated for the 2 seconds that the song is playing, but as soon as the song changes, all of my motivation is gone. Maybe that's just a me problem. Is that an ADHD problem, or is that just a me problem? Pardon me, sorry. Relatable, yeah. Music plays a very integral part in my life. If it wasn't for music, I don't know how I would keep going sometimes. Like, I hate background noise, but I need background noise, if you know what I mean. Like, I hate background noise if it's not my background noise. And I do not look forward to the day where I potentially lose my hearing, because it is possible. It's very common in my family. And I'm trying to take good care of my ears, but I know it's a possibility. Like, losing my eyesight I can deal with. It's like, aw man, unfortunately I can't draw anymore, play games, but I still have my imagination. But like without music, I don't know. I use music to drown out the noise of my intrusive thoughts. I don't know where I'd be without it. It's a double-edged sword. Does anybody else have the thing that happens, like, where if you, like, listen to music from, like, video games you haven't played in a really long time, your brain goes, man, you should really play that game? I have that happen to me, but the issue is that whenever I start playing the game, I get bored and drop it, like, 10 to 30 minutes in. My brain's like, oh yes, you're listening to Fire Emblem music, you should play Fire Emblem Awakening. And I'm like, oh, sick. Pulls out the game, does, like, 2 maps, proceeds to get bored. Or like Skyrim, for example, which ironically just started playing music right now, and it's just like, man, I really want to play Skyrim. Creates character, gets 10 minutes in, is immediately bored. Sometimes, but the console's too far away or not functioning. Fair. I do not have this issue, but fair. I take really good care of my old consoles. Not only that, but I'm on a PC. I've switched over to full PC gaming at this point. So I'm just like, just open up another tab and or like open up the game in another tab. That being said, though, and like on the topic of taking care of consoles, I'm very upset that I was soft resetting in Pokemon Platinum the other day on my 2DS, and my R button stopped working, so now I'm just really upset. That after like what, 10 years of having that, the Wii at home is working, but the Wii remotes aren't because the battery leaks. Are your Wii remotes not the type that take batteries? Because I know the Wii came out in that really weird time period where there were like Wii remotes that were like battery powered like by AA's, and I know there were the chargeable batteries. Dang. Damn. I'm so sorry. I miss my Wii. I currently do not own a Wii. My Wii is currently owned by somebody else. Or they just don't work anymore. Oh, it does, but it's one of them. I don't know why there's only one that works. Yeah, I Wii remotes, like, people like to talk about, like, Nintendo's old consoles having, like, durable controllers and shit, but I've always had issues with Wii remotes. Wii remotes are just super finicky, in my opinion. I don't like them. Personally. Like, in terms of, like, Nintendo controllers, like, there's no beating the GameCube controller. Like, the GameCube controller is just too good. Also, the motion sensor bar was kind of hard because you have to point at it. I did not like the Wii motion. I was not a big motion control person. The Wii was good. I just didn't like motion control. And that sensor bar, you had to have that stuff, that shit, like, positioned in a certain way, otherwise it was just, Heaven forbid you had Wii Motion Plus. It was even, like, actively more finicky. I don't know, that might just be a me thing, but I did not like the Wii Motion or Wii Motion Plus. Still had some fun games on it though. Yeah, like, I love Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I love Twilight Princess. I love Mario Galaxy. I played a decent chunk of Sonic games on there too. Like, I played Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors, as well as Sonic Riders. I used to be a very big Sonic kid. Couple of Pokemon games. My family didn't really stray away from, like, the mainstream Nintendo games. My family wasn't one to actively search out third-party games, unfortunately. I missed out on a lot of good third-party games. But yeah. Actually, no, that's a lie. Like, my family would go get third-party games, but they were like the world's most boring third-party games, like, ever, because my dad was just a very boring person. I want to finish Sonic and the Black... Oh, Sonic and the Black Knight was one of my favorite Wii games, dude. Is it janky as shit and probably not good? Yes, but it was still one of my favorite Sonic games. Mario Galaxy enjoyed. Twilight Princess I also didn't get to finish Twilight Princess as well. My family wanted Wii Active Sports, which honestly were good too. I liked Wii Sports as well. We had a couple of Wii Sports games for like family game night and stuff like that. I really want to go back and finish Twilight Princess though. I did own Twilight Princess on the Wii at one point. I actually have it in the box over there. I just don't have a Wii to play it on. But I actually played Twilight Princess on the GameCube. And I got all the way to like the Temple of Time City in the Sky, and for whatever reason the game just ceased functioning after you got to that point. So it would just like crash when you crash at Temple of Time right before that dungeon. And it was so upsetting. But I will go back to play Twilight Princess eventually, since I do have it right there. Okay, but the Wii quality graphics just hit different. That's fair. Honestly, graphics of some Wii games hold up so great today. Some of them. But it definitely does have that pre-HD look to it, if you know what I mean. Like, there were a lot of good Wii games. Like in terms of third-party games I did get to play, Okami. Okami was fun. I also did get to play the first No More Heroes. Which, if anybody out there has the ability to play No More Heroes, please play No More Heroes. It's a really fun game, in my opinion. But yeah, there are definitely games out there that I wish I could have played on the Wii with the hindsight of being an adult and having access to the internet, because I think I didn't gain full access to the internet until I was like 12 years old, which was like 2010. I think it was like 2010, 2011 was whenever I finally gained, like, my parents finally were able to afford internet. And it was horrible because we lived out in the country. Never got any of the Pokemon games because I didn't know about it. Just the focus of Pokemon was either on DS or 3DS. Yes. We were big handheld people. We didn't have Game Boys. At the time we couldn't afford the Game Boys, but we did absolutely jump into the DS era stuff. So I absolutely played the fork out of a lot of Pokemon games. Not only that, but I got into and discovered, like, I've always known about Pokemon, but I finally, like, quote-unquote discovered and got into Pokemon right as soon as Diamond and Pearl released on the DS. And the only reason why that happened was because I got into a car accident on my 7th birthday. And in the children's hospital that I happened to be in, there was a Pokemon marathon going on TV. And that's what really, really got me into Pokemon. It's a really weird way to get introduced into something, but you know, if it works, it works. But there were also a bunch of good DS games that weren't just Pokemon. Unfortunately, I did tend to stick to Pokemon because I was like my main hyperfixation, but like when the 3DS dropped, I definitely expanded my like repertoire of like handheld games. Like, one of my favorite 3DS games of all time is Kid Icarus Uprising. I don't know how you would port that game, honestly. Like, the other, like, Rangers, Conquest and Mystery Dungeon did get me into it. I loved Conquest, but Gen 5 didn't exactly do well as it released at its release time. I am so upset that Gen 5 didn't do better. I loved Black and White whenever it first came out. I love Pokemon Ranger. The only Ranger game I haven't played is the original, but I played Shadows of Almia and Guardian Signs. I never got to play Pokemon Conquest. I wanted to. I really, really wanted to, but I just couldn't afford it at the time. I am currently doing a playthrough of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky in my downtime. Like, I still play my DS and my DS games. They're kind of like my bedtime games, like you know how some people, like, right before they go to bed, they, like, read a book or, like, do something, right? For me, my bedtime thing is pulling up my DS right now and playing, like, Mystery Dungeon. So, yeah. I love Mystery Dungeon. Explorers of Sky is one of my favorite games. Am I getting a little frustrated with it? Yeah. It's not the most balanced game in the universe, but it's still fun. I'm still having a lot easier of a time as an adult playing it now that I know how to cheese the fuck out of everything. But yeah, good times. But yeah, no, I started with Gen 4 for Pokemon, and I really, really like Gen 5. I'm very upset at how not well received Gen 5 was, because it kind of set the precedent for Pokemon of just not trying anymore. So that's a bummer. That being said, I own Pokemon Black 2, but I've never actually played it. I need to play through Black 2. Gen 5 had like 3 things around the same as each other, even with new mons. Feels like they did more for Gen 5 than the rest. Yeah, no, they went, like, Gen 5 was kind of like a soft reboot, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna go full ham with everything we did in Gen 4 and just make that better. But it just wasn't received well. It was like at this weird... There was this weird exodus of Gen 1ers that came out of the woodworks around Gen 5. They're like, oh my god, it's a garbage bag for a ice cream. What are all of these unoriginal cringe designs? And then, like, you look back at Gen 1 and it's just like, it's a circle with eyes. It is a pile of sludge. It's just a snake. It's just a dog. But it's on fire. Like, it was ridiculous. It was stupid. Like, just, you know? Makes me mad every time. I'm kind of glad that Pokemon did double down on making object Pokemon, though. If you want sort of like wacky designs, ask Necrozma for looking like somebody's like the Ultra Beasts sit in a really weird position of both being cool and stupid at the same time. Like, I understand why Necrozma looks the way it does, because it's supposed to look like a prism focus. It's like if you shine light through a prism foci correctly, you get these really cool light patterns and rainbows, which is like the whole idea of Necrozma, just like absorbing the light of all of the worlds it goes to. So that kind of design sense makes sense, but I also understand that it looks like a refrigerator. Or like another one of my favorite modern Pokemon, I love Duraludon, but it just looks like a Zippo lighter. Their fridge was my first impression when playing blind. No, that's completely fair. Like, some of the Ultra Beast designs I love, but the other ones I don't. Like, I like Nihilego, I like Poipole and Naganadel. Like Blacephalon I don't like. I think Blacephalon is weird. Kartana's okay. Pheromosa exists for a certain group of people. It definitely sure does exist. Pardon me. But I mean, every gen has terrible designs. Every gen has good designs, except Gen 3. I'm joking about Gen 3, by the way. Gen 3 does have some good designs, but for the most part, I don't like Gen 3. Like, Gen 3 has my favorite Pokemon of all time. It did give me my favorite Pokemon of all time, but I did not like the general aesthetic of Gen 3. And I know that'll make a lot of people mad. Which, the Pokemon in question that is my all-time favorite is Absol. I am a really, really big fan of Dark types. Dark types are my favorite type. And Absol is my baby. And not because I'm edgy. It's not a phase, Mom. God. Actually, you know what? That's a good question I just thought of. It's just like, do I have a favorite for every generation, or are there just like generations that I just absolutely do not give a shit about? Hello, dog. Hello, doggo. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know. I don't mind Gen 3 Pokemon designs. They just kind of felt like, yeah, it's like they exist. Yeah. That pretty much summarizes my feelings about Gen 3 too. Like other than Absol and like I guess Rayquaza or Rayquaza, depending on who you ask, they exist. Yeah. But I guess it's just I also didn't get the opportunity to grow up with those games because we couldn't afford the Game Boy era of games. Excuse me. Yeah. Like, there were definitely Pokemon that I wish I could have obtained. Like, in Gen 4, but it is what it is. Like, completing the National Pokédex in Gen 4 is god-awful. Like, Pokemon games, like, do not let anybody tell you otherwise, but Pokemon games have always been paywalled. And older gens are just ridiculous. I like they're ridiculous in that aspect, in my opinion. Like, there are definitely some just like boring designs in Gen 3. I feel like the Mega Evolutions didn't help Gen. Let me think about that. I like Mega Absol, but that's because I'm biased. But, like, like, other than Mega Rayquaza and, like, Origin Form Kyogre, I don't really like any of the Mega Evolutions from Gen 3 either, now that I think about it. They're like, I'm glad they're bringing Mega Evolutions back, but, like, yeah, no, Gen 3 is just weird. Give me a... Yeah, no, Gen 3 is just weird. It sits in such a weird spot of, yeah, it exists. That being said, Omega and Ruby Alpha Sapphire, absolutely fantastic remakes, though. I will give them that much. They're what the standard for remakes should have been and should have been kept. I am still super mega duper ultra salty at the Gen 4 remakes we got. I am upsetty. Like, I will never not be mad at the Gen 4 remakes we got. Some other Pokemon did have better transformations overall. That is overall, but that is fair. Really? Really, dude? Wonks outside, immediately wants back in. No, genuinely, why did they have the same Mega? Like, I think I understand what the concept of Mega Latios and Latios are supposed to be. It's just like, oh, it's the two of them combined. Wowie! But it's just like... No? You still could have made both unique. You know? It kind of took out their personality. Yeah, no, exactly. It's just like, you know, it's like it's the male and female it's the male-female dynamic. It would be like giving Nidoking and Nidoqueen the same Mega, you know? It's just like, no, that kind of defeats the purpose of their existence. So I think Mega Latios and Latios could have been better as well. Like, I'm trying to sit here and think, it's like, are there actually any Mega forms that I like? Besides Absol and, like, Lopunny? So I think Mega Lopunny is cute, it's just, you know, the internet. Doing internet things. A lot of the should have just had a third to be a trio with Latios and Latios. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but I would definitely say they should have at least given them unique Mega designs. My brain's like, yeah, that would be fine, but at the same time, it'd be like, because a lot of the bullshittery that happened in Gen 6 and 7 was like the Pokemon Company just absolutely refusing to give new evolutions to things, except for Sylveon, because they had to introduce something for the new fairy type. But like, still though, I will say overall though, Omega and Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were really good games with a lot of nice post-game content. And I will forever miss the free post-game content. Mega Audino. Hang on, I gotta remember what Mega Audino looks like. Let me look that up real quick. Audino. Oh wait, I own an EX Mega Audino card. Oh, that is cute. Oh, Audino is cute. Wait a minute. That's cute. I like that. I have a Mega Audino EX card. Just, come on, me. That's cute. I like that a lot, actually. That one's a banger. Oh, it's because it's not selected. I am a fail. I am a fail. Go. And then we make sure we get that with the right color. Oh my god, crazy. I mean, I like... Okay, so I'm not a Charizard fan, but I do like Mega Charizard X. I do think that one was cool. Not the shiny, though. I do not like shiny Mega Charizard X. I like Mega Mewtwo Y. I like that it's like this weird combination of Mew and Mewtwo. It's like Mewtwo, but with the smaller proportions of Mew. I'm trying to remember all Mega designs, but Altaria's was simple with a bit of more clouds, but I need a reason to have a plushie to hug. You know what? That's fair. Like, in terms of marketable plushies, I would also say Mega Ampharos. Mega Ampharos is a nice one, too. I think Mega Ampharos is a good one. No. Let's do that. Sorry, I'm just doing something real quick. Okay, there we go. I forgot to post the link to my stream in my own Discord. It's only an hour and 40 minutes into the stream. I'm a professional. I totally don't have Scuff all the time. But to be fair, are you really a VTuber if you don't have Scuff? Okay, I think that looks fine the way it is. Let's go ahead and do this one metal bit right here. See, it has lots of little tiny bolts. Actually, let's go ahead and select all the other like tiny little metal bits of his outfit real quick, and let's just go ahead and do those. I think Mega Sceptile is fine too. Also, an interesting part for Gen 5 is the very different story that I liked the story of Black and White. I haven't played Black 2 or White 2, so I don't know the story of those ones yet. But I really liked Black and White. Like, to just adding story. Like, I also like the post game for Black and White. I think it was cool that they were like, hey, for the main story quest, only Pokemon exclusive to Black and White, but as soon as you open the post game, all of the older Pokemon, you can like get those. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then for like Black 2 and White 2, they're like, yeah, now it's just a mixed pool, which I think was the fair option to go for, in my opinion. And in terms of the story, I love how... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I wouldn't say interpersonally connected it was, because there's not a lot of interpersonal that you can get with a Pokemon game. But it wasn't just like... I don't even know how to describe it, honestly. It's not even a remake. Black 2, White 2, you'll definitely have more stuff to do for fun. Oh, absolutely. I'm self-admittedly a shiny hunter, and my brain's like, no, you need to get a shiny starter before you start your playthrough. And it's been like 3 years since I've started shiny hunting for a shiny Snivy. So it's my own damn fault that I haven't played the games yet. You have no idea how many hours you spent in Pokestar Studios. See? Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Pokestar Studios, but I love Pokemon contests. I love, like, the Gen 4 Pokemon contest. That was, like, my bread and butter as a kid. I loved that a lot. So maybe I'll like Pokestar Studios. I think it's a very unique concept, and we need more kind of, like, mini-game stuff like Pokestar Studios in more modern Pokemon games. They should bring back either contests or Pokestar Studios. Or just, like, unique content that, like, all of the older games had. Like, yeah, not a lot of the fandom is going to interact with it, but it's still nice for the people that do. I love the concept of Pokestar Studios since it's a strategy and follow the script to do the next app. It's very unique. I have seen gameplay of the Black 2 White 2 Pokestar Studio. It looks very interesting, so I can't wait until I can get to that point. Unfortunately, my brain is like, haha, loser baby man, you don't have a shiny starter. Haha, stupid idiot. But I'll get there eventually. So let's go ahead and save, because it's been a while since I've saved. Always remember to safety save. Yes, Paint Tool Site 2 does have a lot of crash save and crash prevention measures compared to Site 1, but still. You'd be surprised how early you can access it. I assume you could probably access... So forgive me, I have a very poor memory because of a lot of the accidents I've recently been through. Is it Castelia City? No. It's been such a long time, please forgive me. Or is it... I don't remember, that's insane. I really do need to go back and play Black and White. No, second gym? Oh. Damn. Really? Dang, that is early on in Black and White too. Dang. You know what? Fair enough. Wow, that is really early on. Well, they kind of force you into it to continue the game. Do they? Well, for Black and White, Black 2 and White 2 anyway. Because I've watched people play it, but I guess I'm less prone to remembering because I personally haven't played it myself. Like, I'm over here, like, having an existential crisis, like, really? Dude, you want to know, there's also something that, like, Black and White and Black 2, White 2 had that I kind of wish Pokemon would go back to. Is I really, 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 really like the concept of the dream world stuff. Like, going to the Pokemon website and, like, entering the dream realm and get, like, all... That is the one thing, it's just, like, all of the berries being locked to a game mode that you can no longer play is kind of unfortunate, but, you know, I really like the dream realm stuff. I did a restart and it forced me to save, but I had a previous save file I didn't delete. Like, are you talking about, like, in Pokemon? Because, like, the way, like, Pokemon games are a little bit weird in the terms of, like, saving. So, in, like, Gen 3 and below, you could just overwrite your save. And, like, lose everything really, really easily. But, like, in the modern, or, like, from, like, Gen 4 and up until Gen 7, you would have to, like, on the main title screen, press a certain buttons in order to be able to restart your game. But I think maybe Black 2 or White 2 is a little bit different because I am 100% aware that Black 2 and White 2 have a New Game Plus. Or like something similar to New Game Plus. I am aware of that. I think that's how it works anyway. There is a hard mode feature in Black 2 and White 2. Like, I think it's like after you beat the game, you can like go into your settings and turn on hard mode. I think that's a thing. Please correct me if I am wrong. Which I think is super cool if I am correct. Because if I am correct, God, I wish other Pokemon games had hard easies after champion. Okay. I think adding a hard mode was super cool. I think more Pokemon games should have a hard mode. Because Pokemon games nowadays are too fucking easy. Like, exceedingly easy. Like, please let me turn off the EXP share. My god, easy. Interleague has a mini mission side quest than just Dream World. That was neat. Yeah. Like I said, like I said, my memory is very scattered and very inaccurate. But I only ever really used Interlink because, like I said, at the time I was very, very limited to my access in the internet, so I didn't have all of the full internet features that you could use. But I was able to do at least Dream World. That I can, like, recall off the top of my head. Dude, I forgot I have the song in my playlist. This song is such a banger. Say what you will about Hoyo games, but they have good music at least. I'm trying to remember what other Interleague features, like Interleague, it's like Black and White were like the first games to really be connected to the internet in a way that didn't feel clunky. Because, like, in Diamond and Pearl, it was just the GTS. Like, really, it was just the GTS. But I remember reading that, like, Black 2 or White 2 had, like, a bunch of, like, quote-unquote, like, downloadable content, quote-unquote, for, like, boss fight, like, going onto, like, those trains and doing, like, Pokemon battles against, like, older NPCs from previous games and that type of thing with, like, different different Pokemon with different, like, competitive moves and stuff like that for, like, championships and stuff, and I thought that was really cool reading up on that. I completely do not remember what it was called, but, you know. I think that was cool. And I think bringing back stuff like that would be nice. They're never gonna do it, but it would be nice. The funniest thing, if you ever do a battle between Black White and Black 2, White 2, if you play Black White, you only see the Black White protagonist. Well, that's how it worked. That's how it worked in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum as well as Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Because you could actually do trades and battles between all of those games. But because, you know, there was no such thing as, like, updates, like, the only way you can get, like, a quote-unquote update back in the day was to, like, re-release a bunch of new cartridges with the new update, which is completely inefficient at the time. So, you know, they don't have the foresight of just putting those in. So, like, whenever you do a battle between a Diamond Pearl Platinum game and Heart Gold Soul Silver, you'll see the, like, random NPC models instead of the Heart Gold Soul Silver protagonists. And if you do a battle between a Diamond or Pearl copy and a Platinum copy, the game actually locks you out of being able to use Origin Form Giratina. And the models that you see are the Diamond and Pearl protagonists and not the Platinum ones. So that makes sense. So it's very much similar to, like, yeah. Heart Gold Soul Silver is a better comparison because the female character is different. True. Very much true. Very, very much so. But I still think it's really cool that you could do that, though. I think that was really, really cool. And I do appreciate that the game, the newer versions of the games like Black 2, White 2, and Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver have the foresight to be able to lock you out of using those version exclusive Pokemon that don't exist in the older games. So that way, you know, it doesn't crash the game or whatever. Actually, I never had Heart Gold Soul Silver or any copy, so basically, I never had Gen 2 until 2021. That's fair. I actually still own both Heart Gold Soul Silver. I still have the boxes they came with the Pokewalkers. I'm not sure if they have the manuals, but I definitely do have the boxes and the Pokewalkers still. Which I think is a really cool flex. Playing OG Gold Silver, yeah, or like Virtual Console. I think, God, I wish Nintendo would bring back the Virtual Console and not whatever like cringe as fuck Nintendo Switch Online bullshittery they have going on right now. Because it was $10. Nice. Nice. What do I have selected? Oh, I just didn't select anything because I am stupid. I'm stupid. Yeah. Actually, no. Let's do a straight line. I think I want to make that a little bit shinier. My art style is very interesting. Because I remember Gen 1, 2 on the 3DS, they had something where you could buy the download and had to adjust for the variable graphics. Yes, the 2DS and 3DS had a virtual console. Just like the Wii and the Wii U did. And it is something that is greatly missed because those, with all the server shutdowns recently. It was such a great way to access old games, and now it's just gone forever. And it sucks. So, I mean, it was like the actual original. I'm aware. Yeah, it's like I said, you could purchase the original, well, quote unquote, the original versions of Red, Blue, Gold, and Silver on the Virtual Console. Yep. Not only that, but the Virtual Console versions of those games actually came with the ability to do the events. To get the event exclusive Pokemon too, like the event Celebi you could obtain from the Virtual Console versions of Gold and Silver, which I think was really, really nice. And I think they should do that more often. I miss cool events like that. Like nowadays, it's just like you can get the event Pokemon by just downloading it. That being said, though, on the flip side, a lot of the older events being locked to like you having to go to like a store and getting the code really does suck. I'm not sure if it's still there. Considering the 3DS servers are no longer exist, it's probably impossible to do so. Probably. But do not quote me on that. Please take me with a grain of salt. And I will give... I absolutely despise the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remakes with a burning passion, but I will say them keeping the original events in there and having them be accessible, kind of, still was nice. But you're unable to obtain them now because Pokemon Company's a bunch of dicks. But at the time of like the release of the game, it was nice. They patched it out, which is 50 Shades of BS. Not only that, But there is another thing that the BDSP remakes did absolutely right that I just wish the remakes were better. They did, like, every aspect of the remake incredibly wrong and horribly. But them revamping the entire fucking Underground was such a banger thing to do. I love the Underground in BDSP so much. It's just like, you got one good banger out. Why couldn't you do that with the rest of the game? Like, I wish the games just didn't look like that. I would have played it more if the games just did not look like that. It makes me the big sad. I forget if they did something with the park below Sanjum Town. I think they just got rid of it. Or either that or it's still there, but it does not function like it does in the original. Actually, I kind of want to look that up. I want to look that up, actually. Pokemon BDSP. Oh, they did do something with it. Okay, it's called Ramanas Park. Oh, okay. They revamped Ramanas Park into endgame content where you can shiny hunt version exclusive legendaries like Ho-Oh, Raikou, Entei Suicune, etc, etc. Okay. So if you have a specific slate, like the Kanto slate, Genome slate, or Stratospheric slate, you can... Okay, cool. I remember that now. Okay. So it's just shiny hunting. So, I mean, that's neat, I guess. That does sound familiar now that I'm thinking about it. And the slates look like DS cartridges, right? If I recall correctly. I never got to that point because I have no idea where you get the slates. I never got that far into BDSP because the game sucked. The funnest part about BDSP was playing the version, the like 1.0 version of the game with the cringe music and being able to like wrong warp and do menu glitches. That's the funnest part about BDSP. I loved seeing BDSP speedruns. I'm an enjoyer of speedruns. I love watching speedruns. I will admit that I did not beat BDSP. Because I did not think it was good. I'm glad I wasn't blocked only into the fight area. Should have been platinum content. Why? All they had to do was just make it platinum, but with diamond and pearl stuff. Do what Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did. It's like Omega Ruby and Sapphire were still just the plot of Ruby and Sapphire, but they added an extra endgame story, which is just like, which was like Emerald content, and that's what BDSP should have done. It was just like, it's Diamond and Pearl, but then a third endgame story with platinum content, and with all of the platinum quality of life stuff too. It's like, that's all you had to do, man. I would have dealt with the graphics if the everything else wasn't also shit. I really like the platinum, like the battle tower. Personally struggling with E4 because I never really fought them. Flint was actually difficult. That is one thing that I will give BDSP, is that the later game stuff, like the Elite Four and the Champion, they actually have good IVs and EVs. They have competitive items, and they actually have smart AI. So I will give them that the Elite Four and Cynthia have never been harder. But I still think Cynthia would have been even more banger of a fight if she had her platinum team. Because her platinum team was really good. Fork me. The only thing I have left to do is these little metal bits, and then I have the hair and the eyes left. Wow. Had a Law-Funny showdown where I spammed bounce because that Law-Funny of his was landing all his high jump kicks in, so you let him crash. You know what? That's funny. Like, I have never used Showdown or anything like that, but I love watching videos of people just trolling people on Showdown. So that honestly, to me, that's a 5-head play. It's just, oh, he's high jump kick spamming. What if I just use dig or bounce or dive? It wasn't Pokemon Showdown, it was legitimately, oh, it was the E4 fight. Oh, okay, you said Showdown, I was like, oh, like the website? Oh, but no, that's fair. Honestly, you exploit that AI. We love exploiting AI in this house. Oh, let's go! Speaking of Diamond and Pearl. I have a playlist that I've made of just like a bunch of my favorite video game music from like a lot of like my childhood video games and video games that I just like to play still. And Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is not an exception. There is quite a bit of music from those in here too. I skipped past some of the Star Fox music because a lot of the Star Fox music that I have in this playlist is like 15-minute long loops. All because I ran the PokéS Platinum team and my team cannot handle it or outspeed a Lopunny. Dang. I don't know. I've never really had, like, other than whenever I was a kid, I never really had issues with like, well, to be fair, I have not gotten to the Elite Four or the Champion in BDSP, so the statement is subject to change, but I've never really had an issue with beating story content in a Pokemon game. But that is subject to change. Maybe if I decide to play through BDSP again, BDSP, I will, yeah, we'll see. I wish I didn't have to leave my capture card behind, otherwise I would just stream it. But a lot of the Pokemon that I tend to use in my Diamond and Pearl playthroughs tend to be very fast, or at least medium speed. Because, like, thinking back on it, BDSP made it easier to catch some of the manga teams because of Underground, so Cherrim and Snorunt was easy access. Yes, the Underground is such a game changer, I'm gonna be honest. Like, for catching Pokemon that you would normally not have early access to, or just shiny hunting in general. Like, I would love to get a friend group together to just, like, shiny hunt one of these days. It also makes Nuzlocking easier too. I was not gonna wait in the honey tree for oh god, no. Leave that stuff in the past. My god. Like, that, I will say, that antiquated BS, absolutely, leave that for the DS games. Leave that for the DS versions. But yeah, no. The underground in BDSP was an absolute W. Like, so I'm specifically a type lock player. I like to play the newer games, like with semi-Nuzlocke rules but specifically to the point where I'm just like, I'm only allowed to use one specific type of Pokemon. So I have beaten every modern Pokemon game except BDSP with nothing but dark types. Which is not something that you can easily do in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. And to an extent, BDSP. You do not get access to a dark type until, like, the second gym. But the underground area does make it easier to get Pokemon like Houndour, or like, I had a really early game Absol at one point. Like, from what little of BDSP I did play. Oh yeah. At this point in my Pokemon journey, I just love giving myself arbitrary rule sets. To try to make it harder. Especially with, like, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield are just ungodly easy. I like to limit myself with using Pokemon specifically in the region, as in no previous Pokemon teams or any previous generation Pokemon that shows up. So, like, for instance, in, like, BDSP, you're only allowed to use Diamond and Pearl, like, Gen 4 Pokemon. And to an extent, that's also something that I try to do as well, if I can. Like, that is absolutely something that happened to me in Scarlet and Violet, because a lot of my favorite Pokemon just were not in the game. Basically like Black and White, where it's all new Pokemon, yeah. Like, a lot of my favorite Pokemon were just not in Scarlet and Violet, so I had to use the newer Pokemon, and there was an exceptional amount of dark types that were in Scarlet and Violet, including one of the starters. Luckily, one of the starters is a dark type. Or turns into a dark type. But yeah. I'm trying to remember all of my teams. Like, my childhood team for, like, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum was, like, every basic Pokemon you would think would be on a Diamond and Pearl team. Annihilape is hilariously one of my favorites in SV. Annihilape's pretty good. Actually, one of my favorite Pokemon from SV, which is super annoying to get, like, the normal way, is actually Kingambit. I like Kingambit. I also like Mabostiff. Like I said, I'm very much a dark type enjoyer, and Scarlet and Violet just had an absurd amount of dark types. Like, an absurd amount of dark types. I also very much enjoy Lokix. Yeah, Lokix was so cute. I used Lokix, like, at the beginning of my Scarlet and Violet playthrough, but unfortunately there were just a lot better choices of dark types later on down the line. But Lokix was used at the beginning of my playthrough. So shoutouts to Lokix. Like, when an entire legendary quartet of Pokemon are all dark types. There were a lot of dark flying types in SV too. Like, you had like Bombirdier, Honchkrow, Iron Jugulus, and I think there were a couple more too that I've noticed. Okay, so that is the body done. So now all I have left are the hair and the eyes. Let's go. And then we will do adjustments to coloring and saturation. Let's see, what are some other Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet? Like, I mean, I think Miraidon and Miraidon are fine. I don't know. They're fine. I think their shinies look cool as hell, though. I just wish they weren't shiny locked. I wish modern Pokemon games would stop shiny locking everything. I think Paradoxmon being like a third separate thing, but not even an evolution, was... Paradox Pokemon, I think the concept was cool. It's just... I think it was cool, but it was very... Okay, so for... just as like a pretense, I have not played either of the DLCs because I do not believe it's worth my money. So I do not have the context of the DLC stories in mind. But like, even from a story perspective, it's Paradox Pokemon are just there. I would have used Scarlet Paradox. I used well, because I limit myself to dark types, I did use Iron Jugulus, as he is a dark flying type. And I do like Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant's cool too, but I didn't use him obviously. But I do have a shiny Iron Valiant. And I think the concept of all the shiny Violet Paradox Pokemon just being Chrome is interesting. I like that a lot. Some of them look terrible, but I think in general the Chrome idea is cool. Because everything is Chrome in the future. That being said, there just weren't a lot of Paradox Pokemon that I thought were neat either. Like, I'm thinking back on it and I'm just like, Sandy Shocks exists, Screamtail exists, Roaring Moon? Roaring Moon is cool. I wish I could have used him. It's not even the DLC, but it's so late into the game. They're kind of like afterthought, even if Astoria. Like, the only time Paradox Pokemon like appear in the story before like the final chapter of the game is during Path of Titans, which is just like, and in Path of Titans it's just like, oh my god, that's a weird Pokemon. Anyways, time to give drugs to my dog so that he'll feel better. Which, mind you, I absolutely love the story of Path of Titans and the final chapter of the game, but the everything else I absolutely give zero shits about. Iron Tread's the only one, like, the Donphin one, yeah. There's Iron Treads, and I forget what the Scarlet equivalent of Iron Treads is called. But yeah, it's just like, I love the concept of Area Zero. I love, like, the potential of the story of Area Zero. Something Tusks, yeah, it's something. I played Violet, I did not play Scarlet. So, I mean, like, even then, I'm sitting here trying to remember all the names. Like, yeah, they exist. They're kind of like, Ultra Beast, where it's like, oh, that's cool. But they're, like, not necessary at the same time. I don't know. Maybe if I played the last DLC of the game, my mind would change. Because, like I said, I do not know the entire story or lore of Paradox Pokemon and how they relate to Terrapagus. But the DLC doesn't seem to expand. I don't have the DLC, but if I saw it, they really don't have much. Oh. That's unfortunate because, like, the story leads you to believe that Terrapagos is like this weird, like, dream-fulfilling or wish-fulfilling Pokemon. And that, like, all of the energy that it surrounds itself with in Area Zero is... I don't know. It has potential to be a really creepy story. But knowing Pokemon, they either probably forgot about it or just completely retconned it with the DLC. I'd have to ask somebody who played the DLC or go watch videos, but it's just like Terrapagos has a really cool, like potential to be a really scary Pokemon lore-wise. But instead it is cute little turtle. If they ever do like a remake or something of Black 2x2 instead of a straight a DLC thing, definitely do better. I don't want them to make remakes anymore if the precedent is to do what they did with Diamond and Pearl. Like, Diamond and Pearl ruined my mood and my outlook towards Pokemon so fucking hard. I'm just like, if this is what all the new remakes are gonna look like, I don't want them. Especially if the quote-unquote rumor that's going around is true, to where there is kind of a black and white thing going on, but it's in the style of Let Go. I absolutely am just like, I'm so fucking done, dude. I am so done. I am dunge. Isn't there a Nintendo Direct supposed to be happening soon? Or am I going insane? I'm not liking the DLC paywall because it's missing out on some content. I kind of like the post game already being there. Yeah, same. I also miss when, you know, every Pokemon was in the game and that they didn't cut out half the Pokemon so that way they could sell them back to you later. I also miss when like games were fully released and not cut in half so that way they can sell you half of it later. So I am an avid I was an avid Dexit person back in Sword and Shield. I hated Dexit, and I still do. Because I knew, cause like the minute they said we're cutting Pokemon out, I'm like, it's not because of hardware limitations. It's so they can sell it back to you later. I knew it immediately, and I called that shit. Oof. I kind of wish I was streaming back then, but yeah. Legends Arceus didn't need a DLC, which honestly, thankfully, they didn't do because, like, yeah, I never got to play Legends Arceus, but, like, it's a complete game with free add-on content if you happen to own the other games. Just like every other old Pokemon game is. And it's just like, yeah. So here's to hoping Legends ZA is just as good, if hopefully better, because I don't know. Like I said, BDSP soured my mood so much that I didn't even bother playing Legends Arceus. Which is quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. Let's go ahead, and this is one of the longer ones. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip this one. Hey, more Fire Emblem. Let's go. I hope ZA follows Arceus in terms of no DLC. Same! Same. Or like... do what like Monster Hunter does and just give us free content, like free downloadable content, or like just free expansions, you know? Like, you know, like Monster Hunter just like gives out new free monsters to hunt and free content. Like, do that. Follow that model. Do that one. Like, if you're gonna look at a game to mimic, do that. Like, free events, free DLC. That being said, though, if there's any game that like in terms of Pokemon that I would like to potentially see remade, I would love to see the Explorers game, like Time Darkness remade, but with all of the quality of life of Sky. But knowing Nintendo and the fact that Mystery Dungeon DX didn't do that well, it'll probably never happen, but you know, a girl can dream. I can dream. Okay, this is looking fine so far, I think. Hair is one of the things I struggle to consistently render. Like, I have one art piece with hair that I absolutely do not remember how the fuck I did it, but I would love to be able to mimic. It's just very unfortunate that I do not remember how I did it. But it came out so pretty. I have it posted on my Twitter. You'll have to go a long ways down, but it is on my Twitter. I think I also have it on my Blue Sky as well. I don't post nearly as much as I should on Blue Sky. It's something that I try to like simul post as much as possible. But more often than not, I just have Twitter open already. Let's go with a slightly bigger brush. Let's go on top. Hair is always so fun to render. But at the same time, it's also god-awful to render. Please end my misery. Okay, I'm almost done with the basics, and then I will have to do my usual stylistic choices for the hair. Do a little bit of gradient, and go from there. Okay, so that looks fine. Let's go ahead and save, because it's been a second since I've saved. Okay, let's go ahead and do some gradient. Just add a little... Actually, I'm going to use a slightly more red in tone. Just a little bit, and then we will adjust the color, like the colors of everything from here to suit what I'm going for. Sir, you went outside like 30 minutes, like 20 minutes ago? No. Yeah, fine. I'll give you pets, though. I'll give you pets. I'll give you pets. There you go. Okay. But I am enjoying how this is coming out, though. It's starting to get to a little besides the fact that I'm fumbling my words, I'm starting to get a little bit tired, but we'll just make this home stretch. So I apologize if I get a little bit quiet. But we're in the home stretch for at least the basic rendering of Fenorian himself. I love using the airbrush tool to give like that softness, with a little hint of just giving it a little bit of depth, a little bit more like 3D-esque in shape. Gives it just enough where it's not too much. And then after I get done with the airbrush, I will do my thing. I do like this color that I'm shading with, though. It's such a nice color. Gives everything a nice little bit of warmth. I tend to lead more towards using warm colors than I do cool colors. Maybe it's something that I should try to branch out of. Because like you can even see it see it very predominantly on my my current on my model, since I am the one who both drew and rigged my own model. So let's go ahead and smooth out some parts of this, just around the tops. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and save. I'll give you pets, but I'm not letting you outside. Let's go. Dude, I love this song. I'm a big fan. Sonic Adventure 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. By the way, how is my audio? Like, can my music be heard? I'm pretty sure it can be. Like, I'm so paranoid because OBS is very finicky with my audio. I've been having issues with it recently. Like, I know hopefully whenever this does get converted into a VOD and that I put it on my YouTube channel, there will be no music in the background. So that way I can get around copyright. And not have my stuff, or like my streams, just like limited access. So I'd rather not terminate my channel before it even gets started. And yeah, you know, hopefully in the future, hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to multi-stream. I'll get that set up eventually. Almost there. I can do this. I just gotta do the home stretch. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and merge. So now that's all on one layer. Let's go ahead and do what I like doing. Let's actually make that less frequent. Blend out the edges. Just like that. Do the same here. Okay. Now let's go to our lighting. Let's go ahead and I think I'll do this the easy way actually. Because give my hand a little bit of rest. Let's just add that lighting on the edge of everything. Just make it a little bit easier on myself. Maybe I'll even like do the change the color of the line art for the hair as well. See how well that goes. That'll be fun. But I'll wait to do that until after I get done rendering everything. So let's go right here. I think the hardest part about this is probably actually going to be the eyes, because in the lore of the Elder Scrolls Online, or just the Elder Scrolls in general, there are different strains of vampirism, and they all have like different unique traits to them. And this particular strain of vampirism that is in the Elder Scrolls Online, which I believe is Noxophilix sanguivoria, if I recall correctly. If you look at like vampires' eyes in this game, you'll notice that you can actually see the original color that their eyes were before, and there's just like a red filter over them. Or like, it's kind of like if you've ever seen somebody with like clouds in their like cloudy eyes, or like imagine instead of the clouds being like white or gray, they're red. So that's the type of effect that I have to figure out how to do. That's interesting, right? Yeah. It's something I've noticed. I totally have not stared at the stared at this character's model way too much to be able to notice that type of thing. Because his eyes are blue under it. But when you have too much time on your hands, and the fact there's like there's a multitude of vampiric lineages in the Elder Scrolls universe too that all have their unique things. Like some of them can walk in the sun just fine, some of them can't. Some of them are just weird. Some of them like have like more innate magical abilities. Some are more physically strong than others. Some of them look more monster-esque, whereas others just look like humans. Layover with red eyes, maybe props with the airbrush, more than likely. Yeah, no, it's like, it's something we'll experiment. I'll experiment with when I get there. I think what I'll do is I'll probably like do just like regular rendering with the eyes, just rendering them the way I normally do, and then just fucking around with the colors, as well as adding like that type of cloudy overlay. We'll see when we get there. Pardon me. But whereas like in Skyrim, it's, and just hoping you're not doing the wrong layer. Yeah. I've gotten better about that. It doesn't rendering on the wrong layer or like drawing on the wrong layer does not happen often to me anymore. I've gotten better about that. Like significantly better about that. Now, if you ask me to label my layers, no. Like any professional like VTuber artist like that does like VTuber models or rigs VTuber models, if they saw my files and looked at all of my layers and saw that it was like 300 layers worth of just not labeled layers, they would fucking have an aneurysm. How long to fixing back then when doing the wrong layer? Sometimes, depending on how long it took me to realize that I was on the wrong layer, it would be too late. And sometimes I would just quit the piece. Which is also another reason why I appreciate all of the small things that Paint Tool Site 2 added. Like, in the original version of Paint Tool Site, if you saved a file and then closed out of it and then reopened it, it wouldn't save your your stroke history, so you couldn't undo anything. But it does now with Paint Tool Site 2, which has been exceedingly helpful. Because it also keeps like multiple different backups of your file too. Like if I go into my crash report, I'm not sure if it'll pop up on stream, but there is actually a recover work button feature, and you can scroll through like a lot of your old art and recover from different save points. It's nice. So it's significantly less of a problem now. But it also kind of helps that I use layer effects. Like, if I ever do have problems with drawing on the wrong layer, it's either in my sketch phase or in my line art phase. But another way that helps me be able to recognize whether or not I am, like, on the wrong layer in terms of doing line art is if I go to my folders. So I put all of my sketch into a single folder, and then I put my line art and all of my rendering into another folder. And then I close the sketch folder, because if the sketch folder is like, if you have the a folder closed and you have that folder selected, it won't let you do anything. So that's how I can at least try to guarantee that I'm not drawing on the wrong layer in terms of line art. There's also layer locking, which layer locking is also something that you can do to make sure that you're not drawing on the wrong layer. But I find it kind of annoying to have to toggle on and off whenever I do want to actually make an edit to the sketch, so that's why folders are just as nice. Organization for layers is nice, yes. Like, I still don't label my layers often, unless I'm actually actively doing, like, a VTuber model. There's actually only seldom few parts that I don't label. Like, if you were to look at my model right now, the only layers that I don't have actually properly labeled are all of the labels for, like, for the strands that are on, like my coat and my necklace. Those are the only things that aren't necessarily labeled, because it's just tedious going through it and being like, strap 1, strap 2, strap 3, when there's just like 50 different like straps. Because I also have a skirt as well, if you look, because I also have a skirt that has all of that too. So yeah. Those are the only things that aren't necessarily labeled on my model, but they are in their own folder, so that way I know where they are and all that stuff. Pardon me. So let's go ahead and go back here. Let's go back to our shine layer. Makes sense, it's just repeating the name for the layers. Exactly, it's just like more. I'm not a big fan of like the tedious work that comes with doing VTuber models, because it like, especially whenever it comes to the repetition of certain things, because like if you do look closely at my VTuber model as well, you'll realize that almost every single one of these straps that are on my coat and my skirt is just the exact same thing copy pasted like a gajillion times, just to save time. Just to save time. So I absolutely do take shortcuts in certain aspects as well, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't impact the overall like design or thing that you're doing. If it isn't noticeable, it's not noticeable unless you're just trying to be a shitter, or unless somebody tells you. So I think what I need to do is I need to actually, because the lighting is a little bit intense. So let's bring that brightness down just a little bit, because we're gonna add more. So what I think I need to do is I actually need to take my darker version of this and go from there. Let's go ahead and also switch that onto its own thing and get back to doing the light, the more hard borders. Let's actually, I like doing the like the shiny borders with the line tool, because I can adjust the line width as well to fit my needs without having to constantly just like do a stroke and then undo, and then do a stroke and then undo, because that hurts my hand after a while. Because I do have arthritis. And that it hurts after a while. It's like, while I do primarily game on PC now, if the game supports controller, I'm using the controller. Or the gamepad. If I can get away with not using mouse and keyboard, I'm going to get away with not using mouse and keyboard. Because it just physically hurts after a while. But there are some games that just don't have it that, you know, I'm just forced to deal with it, of course. Especially with a lot of older PC games. A lot of older PC games do not have gamepad support. Which makes sense. All things considered. Let's see. Getting a little bit focused in here, just really trying to do this fast, but also not inaccurate. So that looks nice. So a lot of my art style is definitely like bits and pieces of things that I've taken from other artists and like converted into my own. And this little part that I'm doing right now, where I'm adding like a lot of these like like light edges that I'm putting on the edge of like my line art, is actually something that you'll see in like a lot of the Megami Tensei game, like a lot of the modern Megami Tensei games. But it's also something that I picked up doing from Attack on Titan, actually. I used to watch anime quite a while back, and Attack on Titan was an anime that I used to watch with my mom quite a bit. And I really liked this border edge with the lighting that they did, and I just kind of like took that and put it in my own. Which a lot of games do nowadays. Like a lot of the stylized games do nowadays. Like Persona, Megami Tensei, Metaphor. And I just like it. It's nice. It adds a little thump, you know.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my little speed.
Especially with the hair. Like I use it on the rest of my art, like the rest of it too, but it's especially something that I predominantly do with hair. And it just looks nice. To me, anyway. My art is very shiny. Or in the terms that my mother uses, my art is very, very laminated. It looks like you just like got the art and just laminated it. And I'm like, you know what? That's a fair description. You'll get fed soon, boy. I know it's time. I know you're hungry. It's almost time. I know. I know, you're cute. He licks me and then walks away.
This probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. Our ghosts try to approach me and got
It's actually kind of hard to see. Let's actually... Cease, boy. Cease. I am working, boy. Okay. So far, so good. That's another thing that I'm kind of a little bit miffy about. It's just like, whenever I do art that has like a kind of a deadline or like a release date, it's just like, oh, you have to release it on this specific day. It's just like, having it finished and it just sitting there and you just really want to post it. It's just like, man, you know? Okay. Man, I miss Kid Icarus Uprising. Such a good game. Slow days, but at least you have time to look at it for other stuff. Yeah, kinda. But you don't want to sit there and mull over it too much, because then you just get nitpicky about the details, and then you just potential burnout, you know. Like other than like, you know, looking over it for like exuberant mistakes and stuff like that, because I have posted art with like blatantly huge mistakes and I'm like, oh well, them's the breaks. Like one of my favorite art pieces that I did last year, I just completely forgot to draw the character's earrings, and I'm just like, man, that's gonna bother me, but I know nobody cares unless I point it out. It's like, I remembered the important things that most people forget. Almost done with all these, and then I can get to actually highlighting the rest of the hair the way that I wish to highlight it. I usually save this particular step for last whenever I do hair, but my brain has just decided, you know what, you're gonna do it now. And I'm like, okay. I am at the whims of my brain. Let's actually lower the intensity a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to lower the width of it. I'll couple these lines just a little bit. Just a smidge. And there, I think that looks fine. Let's go ahead and save. And let's get back to... I mean, honestly, I could just leave it there, but it kind of looks a little bit meh. I think I actually might darken the main tone of his hair too, because his hair is pretty dark. It's actually a pretty dark brown. But I just like using lighter colors first and then adjusting it from there, so that way I can get a little bit more accuracy. Because this is more like my hair color than it is his. Which, for the most part, I do have a bunch of references for him compiled, but to an extent, I'm also just doing this from memory. Because technically, this isn't the first time I've drawn him, but it actually has been years since I've drawn him. Like a good 1 or 2 years since the last time I've drawn this character. Because this character was announced and released in The Elder Scrolls Online in 2020. That is when he debuted in the game as an NPC. Fun fact, The Elder Scrolls Online turned 10 years old last year. It is a 10-year-old MMO, and I'm honestly surprised it's lasted 10 years. Considering how much the community bitches about the game being dead. Or that the game is dying. The community has been, like, complaining for, like, 6 years that the game is dying. I'm like, man, this is the world's slowest death, goddamn. I'ma just keep playing it until it's dead. Because I have nothing better to do. Let's go ahead and blend some parts of this. Just a couple of smidges. It's still there, which is funnier for people complaining about it. Yep. Like, yeah, it's not the biggest player base in the universe, but, you know, it's enough to where I can still do things with other people. I mean, nah. Just do a little bit of stretch. Okay. So that is the hair for the most part. Let me go ahead and go to this layer. And let's make his hair just a smidge bit darker. Just a smidge bit. So like compared from before. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. And then I can just go ahead and merge that into here. Okay, eyes. Eye gel. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom in on these. Let's go ahead and deselect the hair. Select the eyes. And let's see what I can do. Might just go ahead. Go back to the line art here. Go to clipping group. Make a new layer, clipping group. Let's go ahead and actually change the color of the pupils to match the rest of the eyelid, like the iris. Also, clipping group is one of the best things you could use. Please start using clipping group. It has been such a lifesaver. Okay. Do a little bit of experimenting here. Okay, let's actually... let's go ahead. See what we can do. Okay, let's go ahead and let's color the edges here. And now if I ever want to like change the color of anything, it's super easy to do because I have everything separated. Or most of it separated. Which is nice. Maybe I should treat the way I draw eyes in most of my other art like the same way I do it in like my like the VTuber models that I make. See how well that goes. One of these days. Today is not that day. So I do love whenever, like, looking at other people's, like, VTuber models, I love how soft some of their eyes look. But not too like, soft but not too blurry. Let's go ahead and go to my watercolor tool, and let's go ahead and blend. Just blend some of the edges just a little bit. Oh, dude, I need to start listening to this playlist more, because I forget how lovely a lot of the songs, like a lot of the music I listen to, or like a lot of the video game OSTs are. So let's go to my next shade layer, and let's go ahead and... And let's go ahead and blend that out just a little bit. Might lower the intensity of that just as much. Actually, no, I think it actually kind of looks cool, actually. I think I'll keep it, actually. But actually. I'm gonna go to shine. I'm actually going to go to use a reddish color for light. See how well that turns out. So let's go ahead and let's use a more whitish for now. Let's go ahead and then I can blend that out just a little bit. Okay, that looks fine to me. Let's go ahead and merge that. Simplistic enough. And let's go ahead and fuck around with the eyes and find out. Hello, sir. Yes, you exist. I think we'll stick with that. like that, but I just want it to be a little bit more red. Yes, hi. You want pets. I understand. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Good enough is good enough. And one last thing that I did not do is I need to grab this and shade the sclera. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I will be done with this. Hello, Gio. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. We are at the near tail end of this particular render. So thank you, and welcome in. I think I might I'll probably more or less do a bit of minor adjustments in the downtime, and then I'll post it on both Twitter and Blue Sky as well. I'm actually going to grab this and I'm going to actually turn it a little bit red. Just to give it kind of a little bit of blood, like kind of bloodshot, but not actually. I'm doing decent, just have 2 cats asleep on my left, just finding a streamer to watch while I do art. You know what, that's fair. And I thank you for stopping by and choosing me to be your streamer. Oh, that looks nice. I will say I am about ready to wrap up, but I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. You've already been outside. Shush. I am near the tail end. I'm just wrapping this up. But I'm very happy with how it's going. Oh, thank you for the follow as well, Gio. I appreciate it. Welcome on. Thank you. Deselect. Okay, it is deselected. Okay. No, that is not the issue. Okay. Here's fun. Well, thank you so much. I think what this comes down to is... Yep. Also, do you want a 28-pound or 13K cheese free and chuck? I wish. I wish I could have a cat right now, but unfortunately, the house is a little bit too crowded. Otherwise, I would have a cat here. I would also have a chunky monkey. Because at one point, I did have myself a lovely orange chonker, of whom I miss dearly. She's not, like, passed away or anything. I just, unfortunately, couldn't bring her with me. Okay, let's see. The chunky cat is an orange tabby. Nice. We love our orange babies in this house. Ah, I found the culprit. All he does is sleep on your bed, eat, drink a lot, then tries to suffocate you. That's what, like, my cat just eat, drink, sleep, go outside, and then, like, if you allow her to, she'll just lick you. Nonstop. Until the heat death of the universe. She'll just continuously lick you. Like, the longest I've just let her lick my arm was like 45 minutes. She just doesn't stop. Okay, well, I think other than like minor adjustments that I'll probably do offline, as well as like maybe try to mess around with the background and a couple of other things, that's gonna call it here. This is pretty much what the full render is gonna look like, and I've been streaming for quite a while now. I'm a little bit tired, I'm a little bit hungry. I think it's about time we go ahead and wrap up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for the followers. I know, yes, I have water right here as well. Thank you. But y'all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys real soon.